What is up, you all? We're back with another Final Destination Bloodlines video. Before we get into it, definitely smash the like button because it definitely helps, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. So to get into everything, we got some early reactions with Final Destination Bloodlines, some great reactions, and we're going to get into it. Also, we got a new trailer being released that showed us some crazy details that we're going to get into. So starting off over on X, we hear from the Bill Bria account saying, I think Final Destination Bloodlines is the best Final Destination film since the second. It's a glorious, bloody symphony of horror. Zach Levitsky and Adam Stein absolutely nails the tone, and the kills are crazy and wicked. It also is a genuine farewell to Tony Todd. Don't die before you see it. So they're saying this is basically one of the best Final Destinations next to Final Destination 2. Final Destination 2 is one of my favorites, the one with the log scene. We all know the iconic scene with Kimberly and everything. I think that this right here, I said it, this could potentially be one of the best. Just off the simple fact, we're seeing them go back to the original premonition. We get introduced into Iris and everything. We got Tony Todd back, and just it connected to the other films. So we get another early reaction coming from Darren's movie review saying Final Destination Bloodlines brings death back with a vengeance, with the fun twist on the franchise formula. Some fun callbacks to previous traumatic deaths, a surprising amount of heart and laughter. Directors Zach Levitsky and Adam B. Stein have twisted imaginations. The deaths are wonderfully executed, but it's that death that makes me never want to go to a hospital again. So we heard about this at CinemaCon being shown, and we're going to talk about that later in the video. So we did hear about a crazy death at CinemaCon, so I'm gonna give you guys a spoiler warning once we get to that point. But pushing forward, we also hear another early reaction being that Simon Thompson says Final Destination Bloodlines breathes new death into the iconic franchise, a killer entry that delivers a bloody smorgasbord of demises that are jaw on the floor creative. This fresh take on the lore delivers a narrative rich with opportunity, a crowd shocker worth waiting for. So we see this new leaked trailer that's out there on social media, and we just got a new teaser trailer. So it's a lot of promo behind Final Destination. So in the teaser, we hear William Blower say something interesting, basically telling a group of friends that the rules have changed.
The rules have changed.
Now, we know the rules from previous films and everything with Final Destination. We even hear him state one of the rules out of the two, that when he's talking to the group, basically saying if you take somebody out, you get their lifespan and everything. And we don't hear about the second rule, possibly the second rule being to resuscitate, similar to the movie Flatliners, basically unaliving yourself and bring yourself back to life. Now, pushing forward in this trailer, we see this crazy death scene that was shown at CinemaCon. Now, if you don't want to know anything about Final Destination, maybe you want to head out, but I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys saw this. It's everywhere at this point. But if you don't want to know anything, step away. So pushing forward, we see basically one of the brothers, I want to say his name was Bobby, basically pushing his vending machine. But while he's pushing his vending machine, before that, we see a lot of the metal objects that's in the hospital, even around the nurse's neck, the lanyard, just metal pieces going up against the wall, showing this magnetic field with the MRI machine. And from my knowledge, it's going to be something with a peanut allergy, and one of the brothers are going to get sucked into this magnetic MRI machine or something like that. Being that I think the brother that's going to go through that with the MRI machine and magnetic field is going to be Eric, and I think Bobby with the peanut allergy, he's going to try to use his peanut allergy to unalive himself and be brought back. That's why it's happening in the hospital, so he can get help ASAP, but I can be wrong. Now pushing forward, we see a shot of Stephanie looking like she has terror and fear in her face, but before that we see a train kind of going off the tracks, which is a hat tip to Final Destination 1. Now with this film right here, I feel like that for everything people saying it's going to be crazy, it's going to be a great ride, and how it's connected to the previous ones, the previous premonitions and things like that. And we see even Stephanie go up to her grandmother's hideout with these gates and everything, and she's talking to her. She hands her this book, which I know for a fact that book is going to play a big part in Final Destination Bloodlines, because it's like a guideline book on how to cheat death, it seems to be, because it has previous deaths from the previous films. Like I said, pushing forward, we know it's Final Destination books out there that's possibly going to tie into Bloodlines. Now, like I said, with that scene with the magnetic items and everything with Bobby, I think that they're going to try to cheat death. And that's why we are hearing things like that through Final Destination Bloodlines in the previous movies about you can't cheat death. And that's what they're going to try to do. And remember, we see him in his trailer being William Bloodworth say who's next, and both of the brothers point at Bobby. So they're obviously familiar with the order that's going on with the death curse and everything. We even see Stephanie looking at this board with people and, you know, their bloodlines being connected and things like that. Pretty sure it's going to just be her breaking down the bloodlines from everything in the past and kind of seeing how this order is going to go next. And like I said, I think it's going to be a lot to this film, not just with the main group, because it's going back to the original premonition of how people cheated and escaped death. Overall, with this movie, from what I'm hearing, it has me so excited. I'm hearing that it's brutal. I'm hearing it has like creative kills. It's having callbacks to the original Final Destination movies. And I said this when it first came out. I think that it could be setting up a prequel. From the moment they showed us that premonition that is going on with Iris, I think a prequel could potentially happen, or at least a sequel. I don't know, but either way, these early reactions have me so excited, since this is one of the best ones since the second one. And from what we got in a trailer, we see a lot. We see that basically Eric's dad is going to pass away, being Howard, at the barbecue or whatever they're having, and we saw him doing a tattoo on himself. So I think from that moment on, it's going to start the domino through the bloodline and things like that. So I think that Final Destination Bloodlines can definitely be one of the best, if not the best, movie in the franchise overall. Comment down below how you feel about these early reactions in that like leaky trailer that you see out there, and the things that we know so far. How do you feel about Final Destination Bloodlines? Let me know in the comments. Unfortunately, this is the end of this video. I want y'all to hit me up on all my social medias at ILIKESCARY, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.